just briefly, I'll let you guys answer or ask your questions. Not much has changed from Saturday night after the game. Really proud of the mood of our team right now and the resiliency of our team. There's a lot of teams in the country that would have splintered at this point, but I think our guys really do realize that it's much better to be close than it is far away. And although the hurts or the losses might hurt a little bit more because you are invested and you are on the doorstep and you can see the other side, that makes losing a little bit more painful. And that's okay. It should, because that allows us learning opportunities to grow. And our guys have embraced that. We know we've got a lot of work to do, especially on the offensive side of the ball, but we are committed to doing that and making sure that, at whatever point it is that we break through that barrier and we wind up winning games like we had on Saturday. And the only way we know how to do that in our program is to keep swinging and keep working. Work harder, work smarter, work more together, and pull together in that little bunker that we have over at Moncrief. And our guys have really embraced that. So I'm proud of that. Obviously not proud of the way we played offensively on Saturday, but proud of the commitment level shown by players and staff to right the ship. Injury update, Sam Ellinger and Zach Shackelford are both in concussion protocol, so they will be day-to-day. And Reggie Hemphill-Maps has a sprained knee that we're hoping he won't be ready tomorrow, but we're hoping that by Wednesday, mid to late week, that we get him back available. Kyle Porter is back, somewhat symptom-free, so he should be back in action on Saturday as well. Questions?
With Sam, I don't know, could you tell if it was the hit he took in Oklahoma combined with what he took? When did he take it against Oklahoma State? Do you know any of that?
I have no idea. No, it was something that came up after the game. And really after the media stuff that he did post-game, and that's when the medical guys kind of noticed something off, and he was complaining a little bit, and so they evaluated him at that point, sent him home. Nothing concrete at that point. Saturday night, give it 24 hours. He came back yesterday and showed some symptoms. So, I hope by now we all know, the coach's role in that is very limited, if any, so my understanding is, he was cleared symptom-free the entire week after the Oklahoma game. Obviously, he was cleared enough to go back in the game, and then at some point during the game against Oklahoma State, something happened.
Brian, Tom, talking about the running game. Tim Beck talks every Wednesday about, they want to establish a run. You guys want to do that. When you get in the game, and the last 2 weeks, your main rushers have only rushed it, I think, 13 times each of the last 2 games. Are you sure that Tim is committed to the run as you want to be?
Yeah, Tim's is committed. I don't understand the question.
You don't seem to be running the ball as much as a team that you have indicated you want to be.
When you go in with a plan and that plan doesn't work, you have to adjust. Our running backs are averaging 2.7 yards a carry, somewhere around in that neighborhood. And so, I know that was Chris's average in the game, and I think that's about where we're at on average for the season. So, you're not going to survive many games running the ball for 2.5 yards a carry with your running backs, and so no, we got to get better at it. There's no doubt on what we want to be and what we're trying to be. But in the course of a game, when you realize that you're not there yet, you got to find a way to win the game at that point.
Sure. And then out wide, you know, we can probably have some ideas on why you do what you do. You talked before about guys earn playing time by practice time, but all the public sees is that your leading guy with touchdown receptions is benched basically, and the guy who's leading in receiving yards was demoted last week. So, what can you say about why Armani and Colin aren't playing right now?
One, Armonte had a rough couple weeks of practice, and he's practicing much better. And Reggie and Gerard earned their playing time. Obviously, that'll change significantly this week with Reggie's injury status and Gerard having to take some reps at quarterback if Sam is not able to go. And so, and then Colin did. I mean, Dorian practiced and played better in the Oklahoma game, and we'll evaluate how they played and practiced. Played last week and practiced this week. So I mean, I don't. What the statistics are irrelevant. I mean, I don't know what that has to do with a whole lot other than that week in that game, or for a couple weeks and a couple games. Each game is and each week of practice is an independent event, and I don't know many teams where it's not.
Greg, Joaquin, Coach, you guys continue to lose these close games. How much do you think it's a product of the fact that these guys haven't won a lot the last 2 years and haven't really developed that winning attitude?
I think a lot's made out of that, but I don't know that has a ton to do with it. The way that we train, if we trust our training and do what we're supposed to do, then the wins take care of themselves, regardless of who they're against. 3 top 10 teams, or whether it's an overtime or regulation, 1 possession, 4 possessions. We had a great week of preparation, and I think what you're seeing is that if you play hard and you play physical, you're going to give yourself a chance to be in every ball game. And that's exciting for our guys, to have that tangible proof that, all we got to do is play hard and physical, and we can be within, a possession of some of these top teams in the country. Now imagine if we play better and smarter, and with greater fundamentals, and we put those and combine that with the effort and intensity that we're playing with, then that's when the next step is going to be taken.
Middle, Michael?
Coach, Ellinger has now tallied 38 carries over the past 2 weeks. How much do you worry about putting his health in jeopardy after taking so many hits in a 2 week span?
Oh, I don't. How much do I worry about putting his health in jeopardy?
Having your quarterback outside the pocket, taking hit after hit 2 weeks in a row like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's football.
On the left, Chip?
Tom, in a game where you had so many outstanding performances, Boyd, Dixon, the list goes on, Holton Hill, Hager, obviously everyone's stuck on the offense and the running game. On the Big 12 call, you talked about how Matt Rule has sort of moved away from his principles to what they were doing at Baylor last year. What about your thought on that, in terms of kind of the same offense was run here last year and moving back to that in the short term? Yeah,
I don't. There was a Doak Walker Award winner in the backfield and an All-American left tackle, and 2 really, really good tight ends. So I think what Matt has done has used the personnel that he's inherited to the best of his ability, and we're working on trying to do the same.
Stay over here, Anwar.
Coach, can you give me maybe an assessment assessment of where your offensive line is? Obviously, you have injuries. The guys kind of seem to struggle. I'm sure that has something to do with the run game. But can you just give me your honest assessment of where these guys are now?
Not where we need them to be. If that's, I mean, we're growing, you know, and we're inexperienced, and that's not an excuse. Nobody will ever. You don't. If Derek Kerstetter misses a block, we don't let him jog off the field and say, "Hey, that's okay, son. You're a freshman. Don't worry about it." It's a big deal, but you know, you look in that game and you've got a true freshman quarterback at times handing the ball to a true freshman tailback with a true freshman tight end and a true freshman right tackle blocking for him. There's not very many places, I don't think, in college football where that's a sustainable recipe, and that you've got to be creative in in what you're asking all of that youth and inexperience to do. You've got to be really smart with it too, and you can't put too much on their plate. And so I applaud you know, the fight and tenacity that our offensive line shows. We're not where we need to be, and I think that's certainly no trade secret. But the fact that they come out to practice and in preparation each and every week with the intent on improving and making sure that they play this week better than they played last week, I commend them for that.
Middle top.
I wouldn't say maybe Breckenhager's been absent, but we haven't seen a ton from him this year. Where do you think he's made the most improvement, and what did Saturday show you from him? And then second, has Michael Dixon done enough for you to start calling him?
When he graduates, I will. When he graduates. No, Brecken, what a great story that has been. You know, a guy that, quite frankly, was a tweener. You know, it's like, what is he? Is he a linebacker? Is he a defensive end? Is he an outside linebacker? Is he an inside linebacker? The one thing he does is gives you effort, and so we've settled in with him at defensive end, and you know, credit to the defensive staff for their personnel package. I'm sure most people noted, you know, when they had 10 or 11 personnel on the field, you know, it was what we call our lightning package, which was Puna at nose, Brecken at end, Malcolm at end, and then Malik at middle linebacker and Gary at weak side linebacker. So that was a really good scheme that worked for us against the team that throws it as much as they do. And so I think Brecken, as he continues to get comfortable playing the defensive end spot, especially against the run, we'll see his role increase, but certainly he had a really good game.
Back on the left, Danny.
Two for me. Maybe it's too far to ask for down the road Thursday, Friday, but as of today, what do you expect Rod's role to be at practice? And then, you know, going back to that money thing, those decisions on money, Colin, is that your call? Is that a Tim call? Is that a Drew call? Who's kind of making the final decisions on those practices?
Me, always. And then what was it?
Dropping more quarterbacks.
It's all going to depend on, I think, these next couple of days with Sam, to be honest with you. If he's progressing, you know, this is something that you can be cleared in 3 days, you know, 3 or 4 days. But if you have any setbacks along the way, that kind of restarts the clock. So it's probably, I know it is. It's too early for me to tell you. I know he's, you know, met with Tim Beck and the quarterbacks yesterday. But if we think that Sam will be back, then we can kind of do both. If we don't think that Sam will be back, then he'd probably need to be. He's going to need to be there in that room full time, because it's not. It's different than, like, you know, I'm trying to remember the game. Kansas State, you know, hey, Sam's the starter, but Shane is serviceable. Yeah, he's not 100% with that ankle, but, you know, he could hobble in and finish a game. Where, you know, if you're not cleared from a concussion, you're not even in shoulder pads and a helmet. And so if Shane breaks his shoelace, you better have a plan on who's going to jog in the game.
You're right, Ed?
Coach, two-part question. Last 5 games you played teams that have been ranked or nationally ranked. Now you're facing a team that trying to sniff out their first win. How do you motivate your team to stay in focus because you've got TCU the following week? And have you shaved to change your luck?
I have not shaved to change my luck. I don't believe in luck. I believe in routine. And I actually it was a bad day grooming, I guess, and I went too far, and it was going to look bad if I tried to keep it, so I shaved it off and figured I'd let it grow back again. And the motivation's not. I'd be shocked if we didn't come out and have a great day of practice tomorrow. I really would. Turn on the film. This is a team that was ahead of Oklahoma in the fourth quarter, and against West Virginia was down 38-13 and lined up with 17 seconds left for a 2-point conversion to tie the game. And so if you want to look at their record, this would be me speaking to the team, then you're looking at the wrong thing. Turn on the film. This is a good football team, and this is a football team as hungry and as eager for a win as we are. And it's going to take – we're not good enough. I told our team we're not good enough to not play our A game and beat anybody. But what we have shown is we are good enough if we do play our A game on all 3 sides of the football. We're good enough to beat anybody in the country. So that's encouraging. I've been a part of teams where you need to win the turnover battle 8-0 just to win the game 9-7. That actually happened to me. And so where you needed the other team to screw up for you to have a chance to win, we're not there. We're beyond that. We're to the point where if we play our A game, we can compete and beat anybody in the country. But we also know that it's going to take every bit of our A game to do that.
Thank you.
Front middle, Kirk?
On Jim Michelle, what is his health and readiness to play Saturday? And on the last play of the game, the roll out left, can you describe just kind of thinking it went into that?
Yeah, Shane is as good as probably he's going to be all season. He's still wearing a brace on the ankle to protect it more than anything right now, but it feels good. Again, last week I saw a lot more zip on his throws because it is his right ankle. He hadn't been pushing off of it very well in weeks prior to that, but last week I saw a noticeable improvement. And when he runs, it's not a gallop like it was. You can notice, hey, you got a big, heavy brace on your ankle, but other than that, he did good yesterday. The last play on 3rd and 4 was the exact same play that Clemson ran for the game winner against Alabama in the national championship game. It's a little switch route versus man coverage, trying to make the man player go over a bunch of different bodies, and thought we could have got rid of it a little bit sooner. Obviously, the end result is disastrous, especially considering the reminder of everybody, to protect the football in that circumstances, that, hey, a field goal, sends us, at least we're still breathing with a field goal, and a turnover, we die, and we did that. We turned the ball over. But, no, it was something that we've had for a while for teams that want to play man coverage in the tight red zone. It's a play that we've been repping in practice quite a bit.
Everybody run the right route.
It wasn't could have been better run. We got to work on it more, obviously, for the different, if the corner's at this depth and the inside guys at this depth covering the H this way, are there some nuances that could have been executed better? Yeah, but we all did the right thing.
Stay in the middle, Roger.
Tom, Shane has appeared to be totally engaged, whether he's not healthy enough to go or Sam's playing really well. is that kind of his personality, and does that make it a little easier if he's the guy Saturday to know he'll be ready to go 100%?
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud of the way that he's handled it, and I tell him every week, I tell him thank you for being there for his brother, for being there for his team, not just for Sam, but for the entire team as a leader, and he's handled it magnificently, and I'm sure he'll handle this next phase of it magnificently as well. And it is very comforting to know that he has stayed so engaged with everything that you know, if we need to go with him, you know, that nobody will bat an eye.
Cedric?
Yeah, Tom, we're not used to seeing you with 4 losses. Your career's been one of upward arc. How much more difficult has this been for you than you may have anticipated?
I anticipated difficulty. There's no secret to that. But I think it's I keep coming back to in my head, you know, when you tell the woman that you love, hey, I want to be a college football coach, and here's what it's going to entail. And you're both in love so much that, yeah, we can make whatever work. Yeah, we'll be great, we'll be great, we'll be great, we'll be great. And then when you're moving every 2-3 years and you're living in Huntsville, Texas, and Ames, Iowa, and Columbus, Ohio, and places that you never imagined, the reality of how difficult it is sets in. But the commitment that you've made to that partner supersedes everything. And I think that's kind of how I'm feeling now. You know, did I absolutely know it was going to be difficult? Yes. Is it hard for me to lose? Yes. It is awful. But the commitment to the place that I love and the commitment that this place has shown in return supersedes any difficulties that we may face, and makes it a little bit easier to come to work every day.
Back middle, Steve.
Coach, you talked about changing the plays a little bit for Sam, changing the game plan, cutting it down a little bit. Will that go back more with Shane when you add more to it? And has that, the fact that you had to cut down the playbook, I mean, guys like Ohio State, Oklahoma see what you're doing a little bit, limiting things. Will that help you this week if you go back to Shane and he knows more about what's going on?
I think the throw game probably can open up a little bit. You've always got to be cautious. And, there hasn't been a successful run play or pass play executed without blocking people ever. And so you got to make sure that you're putting your offensive line in position to be successful with what they're capable of doing. So I think that's where every game plan starts, is up front. What can we do against this defense? What are we capable of doing? And then you expand from there. But I think Shane, just the experience and his level of understanding the throw game is good. It's still not great. I mean, this is a guy that's he played 12 games last year and has played in 3 games this year. That's still not a whole lot of experience for a guy. So, but I do think you can do a few more things. Shane can make every throw in the book too, which is good to see, and I think opens some doors with some of the different route combinations. But you always got to make sure that you can protect the guy too.
Coach, Malik obviously leads the team in tackles at this moment, and probably is on pace to get over 100. Can you just talk a little bit about the aggressiveness that maybe he's bringing and attacking the holes, those type of things? And the second last one is, can
can you just tell me what your message is to your staff, after these losses? Like, what are you telling those guys that you expect out of them?
Yeah, knock on wood, Malik's been one of the really, really cool stories for me to watch. His growth and development in this program has been I'm really proud of him and Todd Orlando for where he's brought himself and where Todd has brought him, and at the level that he's playing with, and just again playing with the aggressiveness and the lack of hesitation. I think that when you combine those things with his physical abilities, it's look out. And he's not perfect, in fact, he came off the sideline. I think there was a timeout, and I was out there. His coach said, they ran the ball for 8 yards or something like that, and he was mad because he was in the wrong gap, and he was mad at himself, and that was really cool to see. And then for our staff, it's don't panic. Don't panic. The process, the culture, the way that we do things is not going to change around here. Do we have to get better on offense? Yes. Again, I'm a firm believer in the definition of insanity being repeatedly performing the same acts, expecting different results. We haven't done that. We have changed quite a bit and morphed and evolved offensively from the first week until now. We haven't found the right combination. So there is a little bit of, like we talked about, reducing the package to something very, very limited that our guys can rep over and over and over and over again throughout the course of the week. And but we have evolved, and that's, we need to, but we got to continue to, because what we did Saturday is not good enough. But the biggest thing is don't panic. The kids know when you're uncertain. The kids know when you're full of disbelief and hesitation, and there has been zero of that from myself and the staff, because we know there's a difference in thinking this is the right way to do things versus knowing this is the right way to do things, and the entire staff knows that the way we do things is the right way.
Time for two last ones. Brian up front, then Joaquin in the back.
Tom, to ask you about an off-field topic. Saturday, I don't know how much you pay attention to the crowd, but there was a noticeable lack of students, even for Texas's standards and the standards of a typical millennial. What do you think about that giant hole in that side of the stadium, the giant hole in the south end zone when your team went off the field? And what can be done about that?
I was disappointed. If there's one thing I hope you guys have learned from me, it's I'm pretty honest. I was disappointed. We got to win. Everybody loves a winner, and so some of that's on us. I was disappointed that that we had performed to the point where the students had that kind of apathy for it. So we got to do a better job. I've got to do a better job, endearing ourselves to the student body. I thought we did that, with the different student appreciation practice during the spring, and the different things that our team has been involved with, and as far as the students, and we even the first couple games tried to do a little swag surf with them as we left the field, and that wasn't as big a hit as I thought it would be, and so we got to do better. But the marketing and fan engagement, student engagement people need to do better. I need to do better. We all need to do better, and the students need to do better. So, but it was a bit disappointing.
Last one in the back right. Tom, Charlie Brewer's a guy we saw around here at Lake Travis in the state championship. I know he was a big spark for Baylor last week. I know you've seen him play when you were, scouting Cade Brewer. What have you seen out of him so far? I know he hasn't played a ton yet in college, but even at the high school level, and then what you ask for Cade's help in slowing down?
We'll probably get a scouting report on him from Cade a little bit, but I think what you see from Charlie is a guy that just he extends plays with his feet. He's a kid that's not afraid of the moment. When you play at Lake Travis and you play for a state championship winning team and coach, that's to be expected. Very similar to Sam, although Sam is missing that title. He's played in some really, really big games for Westlake and done well. And so, he's a handful at quarterback because of the ability to extend plays with his feet and kind of move around in the pocket. So, and we do, we expect to see him.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.